Hi, my friends. How about some of you who would like to make some fudge the easy way, but you've never done it before? Well, this is your video right here. Stay tuned. I have the ingredients as you see. And yes, I am pounding those walnuts. We are going to add that into the fudge. You can add other nuts if you'd like. So whatever nut you want. Add those nuts in your fudge. It turns out really, really good. But before you do, look what I'm going to do to it. Add it on to your baking dish, sheet, aluminum foiled, whatever you've got, and put it in the oven. But before you do, add a little bit of sugar, and I'm just randomly pouring it on because eventually this will be mixed into the fudge. So if you miss a few spots, don't worry, it's fine. This is a beginner's recipe. Add a hint of salt, just a little. And yes, real honey on top. It makes it so good, so good. I'm lining the pan because I don't feel like cleaning the pan 3 hours after. It's easier this way. Like I said, this is the video for beginners on how to make good fudge. Then put it in your oven. There it is. At 275. Now, let's get to the chocolate. I have the different chocolates here that you had seen in the beginning of the video, and I'm melting them in the microwave. I do cover it in case they decide to blow up. I don't want to have a problem, and I don't feel like cleaning the microwave for 20 minutes. So add the cover. Start with about 30 seconds with each melting point. So in other words, put it in 30 seconds and stir. See, look. And I'm using those little blue chocolate round things that I bought because I wanted to have a little extra color and the vanilla flavor. You can use different colors, that's fine. Good tasting chocolate is half the recipe of a good fudge. The other part is not to burn the chocolate. See, I'm putting it back in. About another 30 seconds. Depending on your microwave, how often you have to do this. In the meantime, I'm opening up the condensed milk. You can use any brand, doesn't matter. Just make it good so it's not artificial liquid. Check in on the fudge again. Don't burn your hand. See, and I'm going to stir it again just to see. You have to keep on stirring it between melting, and this will keep the chocolate nice and shiny. And again. And depends on your microwave. I have to do sometimes 3-4 times. I put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. But it's slowly starting to melt. There are other ways you can make a fudge. I'm giving you the easy recipe for beginners. See? It's almost all melted. Almost. Stir it well. And if you have to put it back into the microwave, that's fine. See, now I am putting that spatula onto the paper that I have because I don't want to waste any chocolate. Instead of putting it someplace else and then have a hot chocolate mess. And I had to put it back again, and this time 20 seconds, and you'll see the consistency. And there's my condensed milk. And now it looks pretty good. See that chocolate? It's pretty tempered. It looks nice. And add the condensed milk. It's really thick. So here I'm showing you because it's in real time. And I'm trying to record the video and at the same time pour this thing in there for you. And eventually you will see I will put it down, and I'm just going to take the spatula and put it all in there and then stir. You can use any condensed milk. Just remember that. Good quality, obviously. Pour it in there. And the chocolate is not very hot, so you will not burn anything. Don't worry about that. Now, go back to the oven, because remember we have our walnuts in there, so you could check. See, this is all about the same time. And here, after I took all the condensed milk out, I'm stirring into the chocolate. It's so yummy. So good. So delicious. Okay, my mouth is watering. That's not fair. So stir it in there. Look how beautiful it is. Gorgeous color. And here I'm adding a little bit of coffee. So you see a little bit of water droplets on the glass. It's because I was washing my hand. I wash my hand a lot in between cooking. I use gloves, wash my hands, so all the time. Add some good, strong espresso coffee in there. That makes your fudge taste delicious. And that was about a shot of espresso. So now I put it back one more time. Again, about another 20 seconds. And I do this because I wanted to heat up the condensed milk. And I'm checking on my walnuts. I don't want that to burn. See, so it looks about like that. You don't want it too dark. If it's too dark, it gets to have this burnt taste. So I'm moving it down a little bit in my oven. And everyone's oven is different. Just keep checking them. Now I'm stirring my fudge again. See? That looks about right. See how pretty that is? And again, if yours isn't, you take it in, put it in, take it out, put it in 20, 30 times. No, you won't have to do that. Just kidding. 3 or 4 times. And then you'll see it's right. And here with the walnuts, see? They're not sticking too much. I didn't oversaturate them, but they're hot. Now you can put it into your chocolate. Oh, that's so good. There we go. Don't add any of the foil in there, and I didn't. I was very careful. And add it right in there. Now you have that nice roasted flavor, and it just melts right into that chocolate and the flavors together. You know what I mean. Obviously, the walnut doesn't melt, but it's the flavors that are melting. You know what I mean. And again, this is a beginner's version. You don't have to do a lot. What are we doing? We're melting chocolates and we are roasting walnuts. That's it. And then we're mixing. It is so easy to make this. And add some more. So you can stir it into the chocolate or you can add it on top. And the spatula that I placed next to me on the left earlier, and of course I'm adding more walnuts, is a waxed paper. So that is okay to use in the oven to so many degrees depending what brand you have. But you can always, use the same thing and put it into the refrigerator. And that's fine too. So I don't like to waste a lot of chocolate, so that's why I put my spatula on that dish. Here is that dish, see? And I add a little water. Remember, that's where my spatula was. And I add a little water on the dish so I can make the wax paper stick. And of course, you're trying something on video with one hand. Is it going to stick? Not as well as I want it to, so just press. I promise you it sticks. See, and the spatula that had the chocolate on there, it's not going to go to waste. Yes, I know it's just a few drops, but it's so good. Look at that. It's chunky, full of walnuts, absolutely delicious. You got to shake it out, and you could put it into your mold, whatever your mold is, whatever you desire. Doesn't have to be a specific size. Just put it in there. I'm sure you've got something in your kitchen. Again, this is a beginner's video, so don't be discouraged. Find something that you have at home. Put it in there. It's going to go right into your fridge, so it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. But do line it with some sort of a wax paper to make that thing come out a lot easier. You will do a lot of favor for yourself that way. It won't stick all over the place. Just make the top as smooth as possible. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. You're going to eat it anyhow. It's fine. You'll eat it, I promise. If not you, everybody else will. So tasty. See that? Right in the fridge. And yes, your fridge is probably as stuffed as mine, so I have to balance it on other stuff, but it's okay. Okay, so I was able to do 2 batches of this, and I'll have the recipe below. So I happen to have 2 sheets. See, I'm checking the foil, see, just so you could see. I have 2 of those baking sheets. Well, they're not really sheets. They're just baking containers, baking pans. And I have 2 of them that are the same size. So I'm just using the second one for this. And see, it's so thick. It's just hard to pour out. So once I poured it out, I'm mushing the top. Get it all pretty. But it won't matter because I'm going to add my walnuts right on top. See, I'm not wasting anything. I try to scrape out every little piece of that chocolate and goodness in there. And whatever I left in there, oh well. And now, since I did have a little bit of the walnuts left, I'm going to add those on top. And remember, you can use walnuts, you can use pecans, you can mix the two together. I've even seen people put peanuts in them. It's your fudge. Put what you want. And if you don't want any of this, then don't. Just get good quality chocolate. That's the key. The better the chocolate, the better the fudge. And don't burn the fudge. That's why I was showing you the steps so you could see the shininess to it. And like I said, there are a lot of other ways you can do this. I'm just giving you the super easy, simple version. I mean, honestly, it's just some fudge, microwave, walnuts. That's pretty much it. So I'm putting some on top. Look how beautiful they look. And the walnuts are not burned. If they burn, they don't taste right. And you can mush it in just ever so gently. You get a nice straight flat top with this. See, not much chocolate on my hand. You could press them right in there. See how pretty they look. Back in the fridge for this one. I shouldn't say back because it hasn't been in there yet. The other one's in there. So that was the first one, remember? And I'm having my husband cut it because I wanted to videotape it. And he's a good cutter. He does. Well, I'm sure you have seen some of the videos that he did with me. He made a really cool quesadilla on one of my previous videos too, and that turned out really well. So I said, hey, honey, use a knife. He's like, no, pizza cutter. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And since he was cutting it, who am I to say no? Look how beautiful it looks. It turned out so delicious. So good. And you know, he was right. The pizza cutter actually works very well. I didn't think it would. I've always cut my fudge with a knife or put a little butter on my knife. Sometimes I would heat up the knife. It all depends on what stuff I have in the fudge and how sticky it is. But in this one, it didn't have to do any of that. He's going over the cut one more time to make it really easy. Look how moist it is. It has a nice consistency. And it's set up really well. Look at that. Those are your walnuts. And it has a nice shine to it, and it tasted really good. Now, this is the second one, remember? That was the one where I put the walnuts on top. I'm sure you remember this video is not that long for you to forget. Unless you skipped it, of course. Then it's different. Then you won't remember. So he's going to cut this one up as well. And now you guys can store this in a container, a plastic container. You guys can store it in pretty much any airtight container, or you could just put it back in clean wax paper. I don't like to reuse the same wax paper just because, you know, it doesn't look as pretty as you can see. And then you can also wrap them up individually. You can give them away as Christmas presents. Or if you're having to watch this before Easter, then it's an Easter present. Or a birthday present, or whatever present you want. But look how beautiful it is. They set up pretty fast. We had this in the fridge just for a few hours. And they set up very well. And each one of the fudges tasted a little bit different because this one had more walnuts on top. So it had a deeper flavor than the other ones. The other ones had a lot of walnuts inside. This one has them inside too because, you know, it was big enough for 2 batches, and it has it on top. So it's almost like a double delight. And see, the pizza cutter just did magic. And again, this is in real time. I didn't make the video longer. You guys can speed it up if you want to, up to you. I really wanted you to see this because so many people are like, I love fudge. I love fudge. I don't know how to make it. It's too hard. And I wanted to show you that it really isn't. At least not the way I do it. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that was so good. Absolutely delicious. Had to have a second piece. Yum. It's like the perfect consistency.
Cheers, folks.